not really sure. Maybe it's their first baby, maybe it's not, who knows. But we're here to just share our knowledge and experience with all of you. I'm just going to introduce these lovely ladies really quickly. This is Sesson, Nurse Sesson. She's you're an RN, right?
Yep.
Yes, she's a registered nurse here in Grand Rapids. She's a wealth of knowledge. She knows a lot of really good stuff comes out of this girl. So seriously, she's the good nurse that like double checks the doctor's work and everything and makes sure you don't die from doctor negligence in the hospital. So thank a Sesson if you meet one. And then we have, of course, Rochelle Toker-Bella. She is a fellow canna-mom. She's not pregnant right now, but when she was pregnant, she used cannabis.
I've been pregnant
twice. Yes, she's a mama 2 times over and used cannabis with her pregnancy. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then we have Shan, Mrs. Vicious.
Hello.
I did a show with you. My last show was with you. And we talked about your psychedelic integration business, and also you're a canna-mom.
I am a canna-mom.
Yes.
This is my second. Well, I've had a couple miscarriages, and this is my second live pregnancy. So
Congratulations.
Yes.
And we are like, just in case you guys don't know us personally, we are like divinely connected. Shan and I, our first babies have the same birthday, and now we're like the same amount of pregnant this time. Like,
it's weird.
Our kids are gonna get married. Like, it's something crazy is gonna happen. But anyway, we have a lot to cover today, and this has been something I've wanted to do for a really long time. So we may end up making this a series, something that we keep doing because there's so much to cover. But something I wanted to start out talking about is the question on everyone's mind is this safe? Is this safe for moms? Is it safe for babies? I'm going to start with you, our medical expert here, Nurse Sesson. In your experience as a medical professional, would you deem, from what you know about marijuana, as safe for pregnant women?
Oh, absolutely. Especially in the different ways you can consume it. I think you can find a healthy way to consume cannabis.
Yeah, absolutely.
For your pregnancy, absolutely.
Absolutely. So that's like, most people that have used weed before kind of draw this conclusion already. They're like, oh yeah, like I know that this isn't really damaging to me, so why would it be damaging to my baby? But for other women that may be taking prescriptions pre-pregnancy, maybe they're trying to find something else that they, they know that those prescriptions that they're taking aren't good for baby, they're not great for mom, and it is a more natural solution to a lot of these problems that women have. We're going to jump around a little bit from our schedule because I just want to talk about this list of medications here that Shan brought in from her doctor. These are all deemed as safe medicines for pregnant women. There's some stuff on here, guys, that I can't even pronounce. There's no way that this is safe for pregnant women or not pregnant women. Like, literally Vicodin is on this list. Like, you don't take Vicodin. Like, have a healthy lifestyle. Like, that's just not... You're not even supposed to be on...
Go to rehab
right.
when you're addicted to Vicodin.
Opiate. It damages your liver.
Oh my gosh.
I mean...
One thing I took, too, which is... I question still to this day, because I just told you guys I've had 3 miscarriages total, but
that's rough.
On 2 of them, my doctors had me on blood thinners, and what else was I on? Progesterone. So they were giving me hormone therapy and blood thinners at the same time. Like, I don't know.
While you were pregnant?
Yes.
Oh no.
And it's because I had a history of blood clots from taking birth control. Coincidentally.
Oh my gosh.
It's just that it was just like a fucked up medical cycle.
That's one thing after another.
Yeah,
one thing was causing another, so now you gotta take another pill to counteract this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't know if that contributed to the miscarriage or not. They still can't even tell me, like, yes, it was.
And you're not on nothing right now.
So this pregnancy, they tried to make me do it again, and I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to try it this time. I'm just going to try something different. Like, we've done that before.
Right.
It turned out horribly, like twice.
So this time you did something different.
This
and
time,
wow.
so also those
Yes.
previous
Well, I mean, it just goes to
times,
show.
I
Yeah.
didn't smoke weed. I wasn't taking like a more like natural homeopaths. I was taking doctor's advice.
Yep, exactly.
So-
you always do, you know?
I
The
don't
first
know. I
time
just
you don't know.
trusted them.
Exactly.
I can't say if that contributed or not, but I was straight like listening to everything my doctor said to do, taking the progesterone shots, taking the blood thinner shots, like every day taking a shot. So
That's
I was
just-
like,
yeah.
I don't know if that contributed or not, but this time I didn't do anything. I
Yeah.
just like did natural things. Cannabis.
Look how great you look.
I
know.
know,
Like, so
Hello.
it goes to
I
show,
feel
like,
so
that's
great.
clearly might have been some of the issue.
It's not
there.
coincidence.
Like, it's
It's
not
not.
coincidence. I mean, look how wonderful
Yeah.
you look, and you're on nothing that the
Glowing.
doctor told you to be
Yeah,
on, and you're
but
freaking
also
glowing.
like
Yeah.
the pain of pregnancy, like people don't. Pregnancy is painful.
It's
It
very
hurts.
All you see is the glamorous,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Instagram.
It's not, though.
Absolutely.
Like
No.
you don't
It
hear
hurts.
about that.
It
Pregnancy
hurts
sucks,
a lot.
dude.
That's why I won't do it again. That's why I was iffy about the second time. I was like, there's lucky Aaron doesn't have a child because I felt bad, you know. So I was like, I guess, but
All
that's
right,
it.
you getting this, and
He
that's
said,
all.
"Shut it down, and no
So
more."
there is like overall pain. We all understand.
Oh, yeah.
know that.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, that's like the thing for me that seems to be like the most obvious. Like these women are taking ibuprofen every day, thinking like, oh, that's fine. Like,
Breaks
I'm
down
just
your
taking,
liver and your
yeah,
kidneys
it's breaking
over
down your
time.
liver, your stomach lining,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and it's like, you think it's okay because your doctor's saying it's okay, but really, people are going to the doctors because they've been taking ibuprofen for a long time. Too much ibuprofen, they're getting ulcers, they're getting, all kinds of stuff that it's not supposed to be going on. And then, like we talked about before, the more medications on top of that to just keep putting new Band-Aids on, trying to see if this will stop. And it's just, it's got to stop. It's just madness. But the study that everybody talks about for promoting cannabis and pregnancy is the wonderful study done in Jamaica a few years ago, where, as if you guys don't know this, Jamaica, everybody in Jamaica smokes weed. It's just part of their culture. It's it's a natural herb in their life, and they use it to the fullest of its abilities. And these pregnant women were making tea, which is actually my favorite way to consume it now. Like, we got the tea bag. Oh yes,
Get
We all
into
love
it.
tea.
I know it.
But it just seems so natural. Like when you're drinking it, when you're doing it, it just, part of you is just like that indigenous tribal part of like your ancestry is coming out, and you're like, yes, this is like how I got here. This is how humans survived for this long. Right. And these women that have lived in Jamaica their whole lives, and they're doing this with their babies, they don't have a second thought about this, and like they can do an untainted study there, which is nice. Right. But here in the US, that study's even hard to find. Like, you can't even find, that's not on the first page of Google.
It's really
When-
hard.
It's
Not.
Yeah, and even
You
like
find studies in other countries. When I was looking up things, all I could find was Jamaica, like England, like Australia, like other parts. There was nothing in America, like studies done, nothing at all.
There's ones being done right now, and I didn't know this baby was not planned. Had this been planned, I would be a part of a study right now, like, because it was going on, and I was like, oh my god,
wow.
it's happening in Colorado, at the University of Colorado right now. There's a study being done, and I hope that it's like an actual study. From what I've read, the doctor's not biased. She doesn't like really put her opinion in anything that she's writing about it yet. So that's what gives me hope. And it's a woman.
Yeah.
So it's not like some stupid man writing about some shit that he's never going to experience and doesn't know about. So that makes me hopeful. But, there's all these other cultures. And like in this country, like, my family, my mom, my grandma, my great-grandma, like Native American days, back when, like this country was founded, that just grew here. That's part of our life. It's part of our culture. And it makes sense. All of the things that weed helps with are all the things that bother you when you're pregnant. Like, it's not an accident that this works.
That's important, like the benefits and versus the risk. Like, are there risks?
Yeah, are there risks? There's, from what I've understood, is there, in order for it to be a true, like, risk where you're, like, stopping your heart or stopping your baby's heart, you'd have to be, like, consuming it while you're asleep. Like, you'd already be, like, knocked out by that point.
Yeah.
And
For me, the benefits definitely outweigh.
Yeah, no,
any risk.
yeah,
absolutely.
100%. Like, I probably, like, I just drove 2 hours to get here.
I know, girl. I don't know how you did
we
that.
just took a couple puffs, and, like, now I'm relaxed. Like, from
Probably
driving,
that body
getting
pain
sick.
is like, you
Just from
know.
being tense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know driving while pregnant's
Yeah.
not
Oh my
easy
God.
at all.
No, because you're like, this
Oh,
will turn
yeah,
that's
it's
painful.
horrible.
But
It's
once
literally
again,
horrible.
that's pain relief, and that's what
That's what I was
we're
thinking. The
using
poor
it
thing's
in
got
a
a
medical
smoke.
way. It's not like we're just using it just to be using it. There is
No,
a
it's
medical use.
medicinal. It's not,
Especially as a pregnant woman.
Mhm.
Right?
especially as a pregnant woman. Like,
Yeah.
we were talking about what would be in, like, the ultimate prenatal vitamin, my husband and I, because, like, I've taken all this crap separately because it's not crap, it's good stuff for, like, me and the baby. But I'm like, wouldn't it be nice if this is just in one, like, you know, gummy or, like, one, like, capsule where we could just get this all over with? And, you know, maybe that'll exist one day. Maybe we'll have a prenatal vitamin with cannabinoids in it, with all the right ones that are
it
gonna...
will. It will one day for nausea. I know it's going
got
to happen.
From your
It's
lips
going
to the universe.
It's going to. I know it
That's
will. It's
all.
just a matter of time.
Let's put it out there, guys.
Seriously.
Like my first pregnancy to my second pregnancy, I didn't use my first pregnancy. I did my second. I mean, it was night and day difference because I was nauseous my first pregnancy, my first trimester, extremely nauseous, and I mean, it was miserable. I didn't move from the couch. I would just had like a bucket next to me puking, like,
That's not really
up all
No.
night, like
That's so
puking.
terrible.
So, and then with my second pregnancy, thankfully I was using cannabis then because I had nausea my whole pregnancy, but thankfully when I would like consume, it would take the nausea away for quite some time, you know, a few
Yeah.
hours I'd be good until, you know, I started feeling like weird again from the pregnancy, and then I would just, you know, take another couple puffs and I would be fine again for the whole freaking day, you know. And I mean, I was able to work my second pregnancy. There was no way I was working my first pregnancy at all. Like I couldn't even get off the couch. Like I was literally just like, it was a miserable, horrible experience. That's why I was like, I'm never getting pregnant again. Like that was, I wanted to die. Like no. And then my second pregnancy, I was like, I'll try it, you know. And I tried without. And I mean, I was already feeling the, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And I felt bad. I was taking the couple puffs off the bowl, but it was crazy that I would take a couple puffs and feel better. And so, you know, it was like, you know, closet pregnancy smoking, you know, like, you know, taking a couple puffs because it was very taboo still, especially in 2014, you know, it was still barely, so.
They compared it to crack.
Yeah, and I didn't have my
They
medical card back then, so I was just, you know, privately using, but the fact that it made me feel better and I was able to work, I was able to be a mom still, because I was a mom at this point to a toddler. I couldn't lay on the couch even if I wanted to, like it wasn't going to happen. So I was able to function, be a mom, get things done around my house. Like there's just no way, it would have been a whole different scenario.
And I think that some women are lucky. Some women don't have like
They're
hard
lucky.
pregnancies
Yeah, they're
like
lucky.
that. And
So
like,
lucky.
bless you guys. My mom and my grandma were like that, but they were also using cannabis. So like, I don't know if they really were naturally like that or not, but they used it the whole time. And we all turned out fine. Just to let y'all know.
Yeah,
no
my
one's
kids
got
are good,
like
too.
3 arms or
Absolutely.
anything.
Absolutely.
Like,
No, healthy kids.
yeah, we all no health problems. Like everyone's good. And Rex, my baby, is like, I mean, everyone thinks their kid's amazing, obviously, but like, he's just like, I don't know, like the moment I started seeing like consciousness like in his face and in his like expressions and stuff, it was so early. And I feel like that's part of what the Jamaica study talks about is you know more about this than I do.
Like they were able to self-regulate at 1 month and scored higher test scoring than the mothers who did not use.
Yeah.
So,
And that's huge. Like when you, and I've heard like everyone's different. Everyone's got their own parenting style. But the cry it out method does not work for
I
me.
never did cry.
I can't
I'm
cry it
sorry.
out. I'm a softie. I'm not. I
No,
can't.
you hear your baby crying for so long, and all of a sudden you're like, I gotta go in there. It's like breaks your heart.
Yeah, because it's just like, that's natural. That's your
Yeah, it's your
instinct
motherly
kicking in.
instinct.
You gotta go and you
Yeah.
gotta be with that baby.
not
But when
normal.
they sleep through the night the first time, you're like,
Actually, you like, I woke up the first time like,
I know.
is the
right?
baby okay? Like, what the hell?
Moms don't know peace. I
But then
swear
when
to
you
God.
realize the baby's still breathing, you're like, oh, thank God, Lord, is this the beginning of freaking life again?
I like what you said
Please.
about both of you. What you said about dosage too, like just 2 puffs and
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
good
yeah.
for like hours.
Hours.
Like
It's-
what is
yeah.
that? 1 milligram.
Exactly. And
It
literally
doesn't
just a
even
little
need-
bit. It's like you don't need a lot for it to completely take away the nausea.
seriously. And it's like, if you look at like, we don't have any right here, but our hemp stuff, we do actually, it's over there. But on our hemp packaging, our federally legal hemp packaging that you can grow in all 50 states, you can purchase at any age, it's not illegal in any way, looks, smells, tastes just like weed, there's still a percentage of THC. So even if you use the 100% legal crop that is grown and accepted in the entire country, you will test positive for THC because there's a little bit of THC in there. That's how it works. They work together. They're a team. And some people don't understand, like people that don't consume weed normally, you know, I had a girl message me that was asking because she got off of her anxiety medicine. I was like, good. But like now she's anxious, obviously. And she's like, well, I just want to do like the pure CBD drops, the isolated CBD. And I'm just like, you can try that,
You don't
but
get
like,
all the good stuff that other
yeah, you don't get the
cannabinoids, you know?
entourage effect. You don't get all of the other terpenes that you're missing and all the other good things that really help with anxiety specifically. And with depression, like we were talking about, I had postpartum. I was diagnosed with depression at 16. So I went through the whole rigmarole with all of the medicines and everything that made it worse for me. And I'm not on any other medicine now besides weed, and you know, occasionally microdosing, not in the 3rd trimester. But you know, I'm looking forward to those days when I'll be able to microdose again. I already told you I stocked up.
Same. I can't wait.
I know
But
that's
also
right.
the terpenes that are in cannabis, what is it, linalool?
Yeah,
That's really good for an antidepressant naturally.
absolutely. Mycerine, what is it?Limonine's really good too.
Yep.
And pinine's really, really good as
So
well.
we need to get all of those at
Yeah.
the same
All of
time, and
those.
like that's helping and contributing.
It's all in
Yeah,
there.
they all work together, so.
They do. So I just want to get back on target here because, like, I know we don't have a lot of time, but specifically in, you know, like Black and Indigenous cultures, it's common to use weed because they've been living off the land forever, and they're just like, this is what grows here, this is what works, this is just how we live. And in the hospitals and doctors' offices, you have, like, not everybody has to report, you know, the positive test results. Like, you don't have to report all of the positive test results to the government. It's only the people who are on state insurance, like Medicaid. I was on Medicaid with my first son, and I'm on it now because we ain't that rich. We gotta.
Girl, health insurance. Is
Health insurance
legal
is a
extortion.
whole. Oh my god, it is extortion.
Legal extortion.
Yeah, so we're not playing that game. Maybe one day we'll be able to roll in that ball field, but I don't know. Anyway, so they're specifically targeting low-income and Black and Indigenous families who are more likely to be on Medicaid because they just fucking moved here. And, like, it's not easy to get your own insurance. So, like, why is that a thing? Like, why are doctors fucking coming after the low-income and Black and Indigenous families? Why aren't you going after the fucking white people that have private insurance that are taking fucking Vicodin with their babies? Like,
Yeah.
isn't that more of a problem?
And that's what we mean by systemic racism,
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
those are the most people that
Starts from
do
birth.
who are on this state insurance, state assistance. They are low income people of color, you know, Black, Hispanic, just Indigenous. And that's not stereotyping. That is literal fact. So that's what we mean by systemic racism. So that it's in the law, it's in the system
laws are-
to attack these people, to pick on these people. So
Not
yeah,
even giving them a chance.
if you have 10 women who gave birth that were of color, and all 10 of the, and only 3 of them smoked, but you didn't have to test the 10 women that were not of color, it's like, yeah, of course the 3 are going to show up because you never tested the other people. So, of course, the statistics are going to lean that way. And, like I'm going to say it a million times, that's what we mean by the system, systemic racism. It starts in the laws, and that's how they purposely do that. And that's how they purposely target people.
Yeah, it's just...
Does that make sense?
Well, no, and like when you say that, so me and my friend, we were both pregnant together, both on Medicaid. She used 2 during her pregnancy. She never got tested or anything. She never had to deal with CPS or anything, and I did get tested. Yeah, they like tested it and did the whole sent my thing to CPS. Yeah, Lindsay never got.
What?
Never.
And she
In 2014?
She's white. She's white. Yeah,
And you
light blue.
identify-
Yeah,
and
and
you
I
are
identify as
Hispanic.
Blonde
Hispanic,
hair,
yeah,
blue
on
eyes.
on my paper. Yeah, so
You know,
they
now I'm
definitely
wondering, because they
screen.
ask you, like, when you're in the hospital, they call, because when they're on the birth certificate, that's what they say. I just remember, like, they called our room, and they're like, so, what are you guys? And I was just like, what do you mean? What the fuck
We're
are
people.
we? Like, I'm Italian, my husband's Croatian. She's like, okay, that's all we needed to know. Like, you don't want... Why? Like, what difference does that
Right.
make? Like, why do you need to know that?
Because now you sound exotic, so they're probably like, let's go check
Let's
her.
go check that. That last name, we already didn't trust it.
I don't trust this, sis. That's
People
sus.
don't want to believe
They call
that.
her Croatian. She's like, oh no, they're okay. That's why. That's why.
Get that one.
I feel like some people are in denial about racism and what it really is and what this is like realistic
Oh yeah.
racism.
Oh,
It's a great
absolutely.
example of like
Absolutely.
the difference. That
We had a
does
child
exist.
the same year, so it's not like anything was
No,
They
nothing
are
changed.
months apart.
Oh my
Not
god.
even
Yeah.
like.
So like it was so
Wow.
weird. I was like, damn, bitch. Like, how come you didn't get CPS? But then now that I'm thinking about it, it's because she's,
she's
white.
And that's
I
what
was
I
like,
mean. That's what we mean by
why.
the privilege. Like,
That's it.
yeah, like your skin color doesn't make it harder for you for certain things.
Right.
Like this, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that makes me so pissed.
Yeah.
But luckily for both Rochelle and I, when CPS came, like, most of the time, they fucking know that they're wasting their time. They, like,
Good.
they see you, they see your family, and they're like, okay, like, they come over to make sure you're not living in a crack house, and you're literally not doing crack, not doing other drugs.
Yeah, it's literally what she said. She's like, honestly, she's like, we're not worried about you smoking weed. She's like, at all. She's like, what we come here is to make sure that the baby has a bed, because if you are smoking, we don't want you to fall asleep on the baby, or that you could put the baby somewhere, you know what I mean? They have a safe place where you can lay the baby down, you know? And, like, you know, that you're not doing other drugs. She literally said, we just make sure you're not doing other drugs and that it doesn't look like this is a dangerous place for a new baby.
Yeah.
But then honestly, when she told me that, I was like, I kind of understand, like, you know, I'm sure a lot of people who do smoke weed are crackheads too, and you know, and God, you see those horror stories of them driving, passing out with their baby at the wheel, like the shit just, you know, I do see, like, maybe why they would do that, but it's like, it scares people because you don't know, they don't tell you, like, at the hospital, like, oh, it's okay, like, you know,
Right.
like, nothing bad's gonna happen, like,
No,
but
they
it's
tell you at the
scary.
beginning of your
And, like,
fucking
yeah.
labor, which is already scary.
Exactly.
Like,
And
you're
like she
not-
came in and like I said, she literally came in and she was like, blah blah blah, I could tell you're not doing other drugs. I could tell, like, you know,
Yeah.
you obviously, you know, you got a normal house, like, you know, she's like, yeah, I can see you got pictures on the wall, like it looks like a normal house. She's like, I could tell, like, it's not, you know,
Not a
like,
trap house.
yeah, it's not a trap house. It's not, you know, she's like, I'm not worried. She literally was there for not even a half hour. She was like, and that was it. She's like, your case will be closed. She's like, have a great rest of your life.
Yeah, but
I
that's
hate
still,
that.
like,
It was
sets you on fire.
scary, you know,
Like,
you just
yeah.
didn't know, and I was like, oh my god,
that's the
thank
last
God.
thing
It
as
was
a new mother.
petrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
As a
You're a
you
new
bring your
mom,
baby
just have
home.
your baby. I'm just like, oh my god, are they gonna take my baby
I
from
know.
me?
And that's the policy. Like, that's the part that blows my mind, even at the hospital. When I had to work, if a patient tested positive for marijuana, even if it says in their chart medical marijuana, before they discharge, I have to put it for a consult for a social worker, and then we have to give them drug and substance abuse counseling and offer them resources. And it's the stupidest shit
God.
ever when people are like, I use this as medicine. Like,
Yeah.
when people are on medications, I don't have to put them through that. Like, oh, you're on Norco? Well, you need counseling. Like, you're on an antipsychotic medication, you need counseling. Like, they don't make
Right.
us, and I just hate that that's the policy. Like, in
Why
those-
is it not the same for other medications? Like, how come weed is so... What I don't understand is that weed is non-toxic to humans. Like,
Right.
we can't die from
Right.
consuming weed. and it's not gonna cause, it doesn't cause any damaging effects to you or your baby, and is actually found to be even helpful in the development of your child and in your pregnancy. It just doesn't make any sense to me that we're attacking this plant that is, it's only done good things. Like,
You can change the stigma now, you know?
Yeah. But I do feel like some doctors are starting to slowly, because I mean, when I was pregnant, my doctor did tell me, because I was on depression medication, I was on freaking anti-inflammatory medication, I was on all sorts of I was on like 4 different pills, like I got all sorts of pills lined up in my freaking thing still, but I've never taken them after, you know, when I told him that I was still using cannabis for those reasons, like, and I told him I was nauseous, you know, he either said I could give you another pill, but at this point you just need it for your antidepressant, you need it for your anti-inflammatory, like you need it for other things, and the cannabis will help all of it. He's like, honestly, I can't tell you that it's safe. He's like, the only thing I've ever read that was an issue is that you could have low birth weight, and he goes, and honestly, he goes, you've had a big baby the first time, he goes, I really don't see that being an issue if the baby's not as big the second time, but and I had a big baby both times, so clearly, like, that smoking weed clearly did not affect the baby's weight at all, and I had a healthy pregnancy, literally birth and went perfect. I literally birthed him in 2 pushes, like, I mean, it was easier than hell. I couldn't even believe it. I was like a champ. Yeah, and I'm telling you, I medicated before I went in there, so that way my body was
that was
sailing when I went through labor, because I was like, my anxiety is so bad, you know, and I can't be, I didn't want to be on those medications, because I already knew that those medications were already causing other things, and I was on other medications, like you said, to help counter the other things that are happening.
After Band-Aid.
Yeah, so it was like I was constantly on all these medications, so it was like, at the end of the day, my doctor, I think, knew. He knows, and honestly, I feel like he knows that it's not. By the way he was talking to me, I could just tell that I feel like he's already awoken himself to the thing. But he literally told me, I can't medically say.
We're not allowed to.
Yeah, I can't medically say go ahead and
Yeah.
smoke, because he's like, it hasn't been federally accepted. He's like,
so
but I'm
stupid.
telling you
So
that I don't think what you're doing is bad. I don't think that you're going to harm yourself or your child for doing this. He's like, I just want to go and broadcast it all over the place right now.
But here we are.
Yeah. This was back in 2014 as well, you know, and I didn't have my medical card then, you know, and he told me he even told me, you know, to cover yourself, you might want to get your medical card, and I did, and I didn't, but I'm a dumbass, I didn't do it my whole pregnancy, so when CPS did come, I didn't, but I told her, I was like, I plan on getting my medical card. She's like, oh, that's fine, like, you know, like,
at least that
whatever.
that didn't make them, like, freak
Yeah,
out
and
or
I didn't
anything.
have a card back then, you know, so.
So that's, like, CPS, not every state's the same. Like, some states, like, Florida, I guess, is like they're real conservative, and they're real.
Oh yeah, Florida is
You
a
can't
real
even
strict.
like I have my medical card here from Michigan, and like if you go to Florida, you can't even like shop in there.
No,
like,
they
a
shut
gas.
it down. I called for
Yeah.
our bachelorette party. We was in Miami, and they were like, no.
No.
With our cards, we had our big old van. They said,
Yeah,
no.
so we had to go to the street.
You probably got better prices there anyway.
We met friends. There's people still puffing and having a good time out there.
When you're on vacation, you will always find the weed man.
Oh my God,
there's a
bitch,
way.
we were sitting right in a restaurant, and some dude walks by, he's sitting right next to us on the other side of the thing, just rolling up. I'm like,
Hey.
dude, like, look at them.
There's my people.
So the thing about the low birth weight I want to talk to you about, did you know, I looked this up for the show, did you know that the reason they say that is because they were taking that from a study that was done on mothers that had all kinds of drugs in their system, not just weed. So like methamphetamines, nicotine.
Oh, you don't eat. Where you
So of
stay
course,
hungry.
where you don't eat because you're on all the freaking actual drugs.
Right.
And that like cuts off your appetite.
It's a skewed study. Like these studies that like everyone, if you're on Google and you're looking for like actual studies on medicines and things that you want to try, get the fuck off of Google.
Hello.
Get off of Google. Get DuckDuckGo. Get Google Scholar if you have to get Google. But like even then, you gotta sift.
Yeah, Dr. Google sucks.
See, Azalea was born at, I think she was 5 pounds 8 ounces. Remember, that's my first pregnancy. Using the progesterone.
Oh my gosh.
Using and I had an emergency C-section like you guys. This baby is already 7 pounds.
Oh no, I know. I was like,
And
she's
I have
ready.
4 more
do it.
weeks.
Oh, wow.
She's
She's already bigger than Azalea. You
Yeah.
know, like
Look at
Oh,
God.
this one is too.
that's what I'm saying. Nature, just
Yeah.
plant medicine.
Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? And there's so many different ways you can consume it, and that's the key. So if people have a taboo about smoking, then you can put it in tea. You can eat it. You know,
Yeah.
there's so many. There's oh my gosh,
The
vapes. There's so
tinctures.
many different things that you can consume it and still get benefits.
So
And
many.
you know what I mean? Like there's lotions for there's
Well,
so many
people
different
just don't
things.
know.
Yes.
Yeah, the ECS or endocannabinoid system it's everywhere. It goes through your skin. You
It
can
goes
absorb
through your
it.
blood, your breast milk.
Yes,
It's
you-
naturally in everything.
It's in your
body.
So even if you don't consume weed or any cannabinoids during pregnancy, your baby in your breast milk will have cannabinoids because you make them naturally. And activating your endocannabinoid system is important because you need to be able to, it doesn't just like turn on to be like, oh, let me access my digestive system without ever eating.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. You have to get the ball rolling. So eventually, that's why the cannabinoids are in your breast milk for your baby, because they get them no matter what. But I have a feeling that they would be really helpful in utero because
Absolutely.
hello,
You give them all different kinds of vitamins. Why not?
all different kinds of vitamins.
Why
This
not?
is just
I truly think one day, like, it'll CBD and like
Yeah.
different variety
I
of
see it starting
cannabinoids
with
will
CBD,
be
yeah,
it'll be
sure.
CBD first,
Yeah.
and then eventually you'll see CBG, CBNs, and
Mhm.
all of
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and it'll be in a vitamin. It's
Yeah.
gonna be in a daily
It
dose
will.
vitamin.
the
It
FDA
It
just
will
needs to
be.
approve it. You know what? Like the most frustrating. This is kind of off topic, but we have a hemp farm, and when we started the first year that we could have a hemp farm, just 2 years ago, they finally made it federally legal again because hemp was illegal until 2 years ago. Guys, like, come on, fucking get with it. So
Hemp that literally freaking does everything.
It
Clothes
does
you,
everything. No
feeds
psychoactivation.
you, could freaking build
your house.
build your house, freaking
Build a car.
anything.
Clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make clothes.
Anything.
Like, it does so many things.
It doesn't get you high. That shit was illegal. So please tell me that it's about the drug being dangerous.
Oh,
But so the FDA still has not approved CBD. That's why, like, there's these huge farms that were, like, people were buying up tons and tons of land, acres and acres. These big ass companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, they were all like gonna put CBD in their products, like Keebler,
And then they cut it off. Yeah, they said, "Oh, no more. It can't be in food."
Yeah, because the FDA won't approve it. Like,
Yeah.
but for no fucking reason.
But remember when they used to let cocaine be in Coca-Cola?
Yes, that's
that
how we got
was
its
okay,
name.
but God forbid you put CBD. That's literally saving people's lives, literally saving children's lives.
It's not
but God
addictive.
forbid,
That's
yeah.
why you can't make money off it because it's not addictive.
She's done and needs to get out.
Okay, I'm in the middle of a live show right now, so go tell Danny.
It's Sessin?
Sussin.
Sessin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that you?
Mm-hmm.
So it's your car.
Oh.
Can I just back it up a little and then
Yeah.
pull it back in?
My keys should be right in my white coat.
Did Danny pay her yet?
He's doing it right
Okay, all right.
In the pocket, maybe. There we go.
now. There you go.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
All right, thanks, Mama.
Yep.
I got off track there.
Sorry.
Hemp farm,
Hemp
CBD,
farm, CBD.
in the coke.
The feds.
Yeah, how
right,
they had
okay.
like cocaine in
I
there,
got
but they
you,
won't put
sis.
Thank you,
CBD in
boo.
there.
So that's mind blowing to me that the FDA still won't approve it. It's still legal. It's still federally legal. You can grow it. You can buy it. You can possess it. But it just can't be.
Yeah, they're worried about. They said you can't put CBD in coffee. I said, really? Like, coffee is not a fucking problem already. Like, people are gonna die.
Right.
But I said, oh, but you think that CBD is gonna be
Like,
the issue?
messes with our
Like,
kidneys.
really? Come on. Like, I'm not kidding. I remember that with Starbucks, they were all talking about putting CBD in their coffees and stuff, and like, they were saying, oh no, it could have adverse effects because the CBD. This. I'm like, really? That's what you think the
Have
problem
you
is?
had an espresso shot? That shit fucks you up.
Especially there,
Like,
that shit's like crack.
it
No
is
wonder
like
they
crack.
keep coming back.
I'm so
I know.
glad that there are guerrilla companies that are doing it. And,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We need
Just
that.
kind of gave him the
It's
middle
gonna
finger.
be
Yeah, they don't
happening.
want them putting it in Kool-Aid. That's why it's like got to
Yeah.
be all low key. Like I remember so many people were getting riffs about the Kool-Aids. Remember how popular those things were? They're like, nope, no more.
The
And
Kool-Aid
remember
Jammers.
the ice cream pop sticks that used to be really
Yes.
popular. They made a whole fuss about putting CBD and stuff in that. And I'm like, come on,
Fucking
that's
ice
what the problem is.
Not
Not
the
the
sugar.
ingredients in the ice cream. Really, like, come on now.
Absolutely.
The ingredients that are like banned in other countries.
Right.
That's not the problem.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How about all of the food that is like coming to the US? If it gets accidentally shipped to another country, they're like, we won't take this because you guys let all of this garbage be in your shit. Like the Fireball, I know specifically it's got this one chemical in it that Danny, my husband's allergic to, and he's thankfully not really like a drinker anymore, like as of recently, thanks to honestly microdosing. But he was a big drinker, which is like bad for you anyway, but he could drink a lot. But for some reason when he drank Fireball, it would just like, he would get all swollen, like red and swollen, like have an allergic reaction to it.
Wow.
And we're just like, this doesn't happen when you drink anything else. And then the story came out how another country got shipped our Fireball, and they're like, we won't take this because it's got that ingredient in it that like most people have an adverse effect to. Like it only, it's a preservative that like only messes things up. So like, that's what's fishy to me too, is like, how are we allowing all of this literal garbage to be in our food?
I can't believe how different the food tastes. When every time I go out of the country, it's like tastes so different. The fruit tastes different. Everything, the pop, everything, the potato chips. I mean, they are so different. And I mean the flavors that you can get aren't even nearly the same as what here. Here it's like cheddar, pizza, nachos, like all this crazy shit. Over there it's like cumin, like different like spices and shit. I'm like, oh shit, like they are real damn.
They're not using GMO over here.
Yeah, the pop tastes different. Like it's all so different. I'm like,
I think it's more flavorful, and it doesn't like. I feel like here a lot of the food is like dumbed down. I want a greenhouse because I want to like grow our own stuff. Because even when you get vegetables and stuff, like you can try to make your own
here
fruits.
is sweeter. There it's not as sweet. Everything is more like natural.
Sugar.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, I was like, this shit's bland. I'm like, oh, it's because I'm used to this horrible preservatives and all this shit from America. I was like, oh my god.
Dude, every year when my cousins would come from London, God bless their heart, they were like 15, 17, and 19. They would pack bags of candy that's banned from there, and all their friends were like, and they'd get money. They'd get it for the kids. Like, hey, I'm gonna go get these Skittles. I'm gonna get these Hot Cheetos. Place your money. And I'm like, isn't that crazy? And they pack their stuff with stuff that's banned, and they were like, oh my gosh, maybe the Queen does love us.
Hot Cheetos and shit. Like they don't have none of that.
Like because they know these chemicals can cause cancer. These chemicals can cause early onset Alzheimer's. Like, and there's a million studies on that, but then everyone's like, nope, you know, a Stevie Wonder to that. But so it just it's crazy how they'll allow that stuff that can kill us, but not cannabis.
No.
And you can eat all that while pregnant.
Right, all the pop you want. And like, no, you're not supposed to. But like, also, if you have like, if you get gestational diabetes, they don't report you to CPS.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That is true, and that's a good comparison.
Like when you're eating Cheetos while pregnant, they coming after you.
Deadly for both you and
both
the baby.
you and the baby. And it can cause all kinds of complications like beyond that. Like even if you are lucky to live through it, you know. And I'm not hating on anyone with gestational diabetes. I'm just saying, like, that's something you control and that you put into your body, and you are knowing that it's not good for you, and like that just goes completely untalked about. Like no one even puts any kind of responsibility on anybody. You know, like even the doctors, like you don't get warned about this stuff efficiently before time. Like, yeah, you're gonna be pregnant, you know that you're gonna be hungry, but your doctors aren't the ones enforcing these nutrition facts on you. They're not the one. They're just the ones like, oh, bitch, it's too late. Like you got gestational diabetes now, and you're like, what the fuck? Like how? You know.
And then here's some more pills. No.
Yeah, here's some more pills. There you go. Well, ladies, I think our time is about up, but I'm so thankful that we got to do this, and I want to do it again because I know that there's more that we need to talk about, but our time is running short.